Welcome to my second presentation for the week 2. My name is Edward Gonzales, and this is Assertiveness, Independence, and Self-actualization. So first we must start off with, what is assertiveness? Well, assertiveness is a skill regularly referred to in a social communication skills training. Being assertive means being able to stand up for your own and other people's rights in a calm, positive way without being aggressive or passively accepting wrong. Next is independence. Independence is the complete freedom of control or influence from other party, be it a single individual, a group of people, or an organization. It can be the ability to take care of oneself. It can also be the ability to be counted out as well. Self-actualization is the last one. It is the realization or fulfillment of one's talents, especially considered as a drive or need present in everyone. The knowledge to know one's skills and boundaries is very important. We'll get back on boundaries here in just one second. So what is the characteristics of a self-actualized person? Well, they're willing to embrace the unknown. They don't want to shock or disturb. They are able to accept, just about everything. Their flaws or things that they do well, which also helps create a purpose. They're motivated from that purpose to grow and be more ambitious. They are grateful for what they have. They're not troubled by the things that might bother some other people. If they get some bad news, they take the positive and they grow with it. They have just a few close friends, which is but a lot of acquaintances. So they have a few best friends, but there's still people who can go to an assembly and know how to interact with those people. But they're also understanding, and they know that they're not perfect people. They're just those people that you want to be around during times of crisis. They're the people who you can depend upon, and also the people that you will rely upon for most of the things that you do. They enjoy the little things, and they also enjoy that journey to get to those things. Some people will realize that it's too hard to complete that college degree or to get that promotion, and they might not go after those things because of how hard they are. These types of people will actually aspire to do more and want to do more and have this internal need to continuously do more. Well, everybody has a childhood, right? Well, a self-actualized person has a few important characteristics during a childhood, and also it is important to instill these into our children as they grow up as well. Remember, the earlier that we instill these habits, the more this person, this being that we're raising, will be able to move forward and be successful. Make sure that they get goal oriented. A good little tactic that you can use for your children is to say, well, you know what, if you want to go to the pool today, we need to make sure that we pick up our toys and we do our daily routines, whether that be brushing our teeth or combing our hair or just taking care of ourselves. So that way they know that there is something to obtain from doing these good things, and they continuously do those things as they grow up, as they become more successful, and also show them how they can move on with their issues. To those of you that have children, you know that when you tell them they can't do something, they might break down a little bit and not want to continuously try. Showing them that you can get up, you can keep going, you can survive. The little things really don't matter that much. So what about assertiveness? Well, there's a lot of things that you can do to promote an assertive person. One of the things is to do the things that are outside of your comfort zone. This will not only show you that your body and your mind can actually do more, it will give you the proper ways to test those boundaries, but also keep you confined inside of those boundaries. So that way you might not go and say, hey, I could jump out of a plane without the proper parachute, or while I'm just a lower end employee, I can't just apply for the new CEO aspect. There's stair steps that you need to do. And it also shows you that you can depend on yourself during hard times. when you press yourself to the max and you continuously extend that max, you understand that, when times do get hard, you can continuously move forward and things will be okay. And you can also be very assertive during that time. I want to stress again, being uncomfortable doesn't necessarily need to mean that you're doing things that you don't want to do. Being uncomfortable are those things that you've always wanted to try, but you might be too scared to do, or you might hear people say, "Oh, it's not for you. It's for somebody else." Being uncomfortable means knowing who you are, what you can do, and striving to be better. A perfect example in my life right now is I've already gotten my bachelor's degree, and now I'm going after these jobs where I used to not think were ever obtainable for myself. But now I'm going after them because I believe in myself, I believe in what I have learned, and I'm hopeful that I can get these jobs. Were they jobs that I would be able to get 4 or 5 years ago? No, there have been no way I could have got these jobs. And it's scary to think that now I have to rely on myself a lot more for these more independent roles. But I look forward to pushing those boundaries to understand where I can go and what I need to do to get there. Well, how do we start becoming independent? Well, it starts early. We talked about childhood before, and we talked about what we can do to make those children more independent, giving them responsibilities, giving them goals to aspire to. Don't react too much to the negative behavior, or ignore it. And what I mean by that is, when your child is throwing that temper tantrum, don't run over there and be, "Well, why are you doing this?" or anything like that. Allow them to work through those feelings so that way they know that they can work through those feelings. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be mad. It's not okay to not work through those feelings and keep them bottled up. That is something that I try to aspire to tell my children, so that way they can develop into these people who can depend on themselves, can depend on others, but when it comes down to that crisis mode, they are there for each other. And they can work with each other. They can become independent. They can be those people that don't have to rely on everybody to get that, money or job or anything that they would ever want. They can go out there, do what they need to do to be successful, to be those leaders and define who they actually are. So let's talk about those. So a little bit of characteristics for the independent person. So how do you become independent? Well, the first thing is you got to trust yourself. You got to believe in yourself. You got to know that you can depend on the things that you will find in the world around you. If you don't know the answer, that's fine. That doesn't make you less independent. What makes you more independent is if you go find that answer. The big one that I put on here is don't wait for a hero. Be your own hero. And what I mean by that is, when it comes time that you might not know what's going on, or you might not understand the principles of what are actually happening in front of you, you can go out there and say, "Hey, I'm going to take charge right now. Yeah, I might not have the money for this bill, but I can go sell my Xbox, or I can go give blood or plasma," or things that sometimes you need to do just to get by. I know I've done some of those things, and while it does hurt to give up something, being independent kind of feels a little bit more than giving up those little items that are in your box. And I can't stress this enough. You have to work hard. You can't stay there thinking, "What is Sally or John thinking of me because I have to do this weekend shift?" Well, you're doing that weekend shift so you could provide for yourself, so you can provide for your family, so you can be independent. Don't worry that they might feel that you're not wanting to be their friend anymore. They'll still be there once they calm down. It's just, you need to do you. You need to work hard, and good things will come to you. So how do we combine these aspects? Well, obviously these three ideals are how we bring together our skills to become more than just a single person. We become We're able to become a collective. We're able to become a group. It's an empowering both the body and the mind to help to establish yourself in any task or organization or into any group. Working hard, staying focused can boost that morale of ourself, and it also helps our understanding to where we need to go, what we need to do, what we can do to define ourselves, the people around us, and the image we want to display to those people. If we're really doing our job to combine these ideals, we are in essence becoming a better person, not as if to say I'm better than somebody else, but better for ourselves and what we want to do and what we want to say and what we want to accomplish. We need to keep those feelings and those assertiveness and independence keep going, so that way we can actually become more and get the things that we want to have. I think this is one of my favorite slides because we're going back to children's, and it's one of the things that I practice with my children a lot. If you remember the Dark Knight series by Christopher Nolan, the new Batman that recently came out a few years ago, the big thing that they always said is, why do we fall, Bruce? Well, so we can learn to pick ourselves back up. It can't be stressed enough that when our children do make mistakes, when they do have feelings that they can't get past, it is important to let them know that there is a reason why we go through those things. It is so that way we can learn to push ourselves harder, to get over these issues, to not have to worry about the little things that they're not going to really bother us tomorrow. They're not even going to be there tomorrow. So get some rest, and tomorrow is a brand new day. And by learning that aspect and utilizing it in our adult lives, we only become better for it, and it is important to stress that to our children. You hear the word flaw, and right away I believe most of us anyways will say, oh no, that's something bad. But for me, and something that I've been trying to learn through my growth and my education, is a flaw is just something that needs to be fixed. It's not necessarily something bad. And if we take that aspect and really understand and learn from it, we're learning to not create the same problem over and over and over again. If you have a flaw, fine. That just means you're human. We all have flaws. It's important to identify them, to be able to improve on them, and continuously move forward. Don't take those steps back. If you've worked really hard to not be so critical of yourself, the next time that you end up eating that chocolate bar, or not wear the outfit that you really feel good in, don't worry about those things, because the next thing that you will probably look better in the long run because you have learned from those mistakes. One of the big mistakes that I make on a daily basis is not believing in myself as much as I probably should. And that's something that I'm really working hard to do. Do I do a perfect job every day? No. But I keep making strides to keep going forward and changing those aspects to make myself believe in myself, understand that I'm doing everything I can to be a better person, to be a better man, to be a better husband, to be a better father, to be a better coworker. On our last slide, it's really simple how all these ideals break down, and it's the knowledge of yourself. Don't let the outside world bring you down. If somebody's being critical of you, guess what? Move on past that person. If it's somebody that you have to work with on a daily basis, let your feelings be known, so maybe your life at work can get better. Know your limits, but don't make a limit be your defining factor. Limits can be changed. We hear all the time about records being broken. Limits can be broken. So keep trying those new things. New things are not bad things. New things just show you what you can and can't do. Yes, sometimes you're trying a new thing and you fail at it, and it might not be the thing for you right then, but you keep trying and you keep pushing yourself, and before you know it, you might be at the end of your life and you get to look back and say, you know what, I truly and honestly have no regrets. Don't get pressured, though, at the same time to do things outside of your known limits. If you're afraid of heights and you legitimately have tried over and over and over to get past it, stop trying. Sometimes there are things that are outside our limits, and that's understandable. But having that knowledge and that independence to say, you know what, I have tried it your way, I am doing it my way now, and I feel comfortable for who I am because of that. It's all about striving to be the best person you possibly can be every single day, every single minute, and every single second of your life. And at the end, you'll just be smiling more for it. Thank you for watching this presentation. The next slide is my references.